I'm Trav, your favorite artist, and let's look at some animation process. Atomic Trash is going to feature not only illustrations and collectibles, but it's going to have animation, right? And I've been working on some animation pieces for a long while now, and this is one particular animation that I want to show you guys. I don't want to give everything away, but I want to show you some of the early progress and how I use hand-drawn frame-by-frame animation in Procreate, and then complemented by piecing it all together using Procreate Dreams. I'll show you some of the walk cycles, some of the background environments, and some of the basic animatics that I've put together to get an idea of what this will all look like when it's all pieced together. So come check it out and don't make it weird. Let's start with the walk cycles, right? So here we have the Elvis impersonator character. I use the still drawn of the character and I just animate the feet on the bottom half to get an idea of what I'm looking for. So this is 12 individual drawings that create this walk cycle, 12 frames, and they are animated at 12 frames per second. And we get this cheeky little Elvis impersonator bobbing along. We've got that belly bouncing up and down, got a little head nod, and if you notice as well, his hair is actually just kind of doing a little flick as well. So it's about adding those little touches in, and I could do more. I think the gun needs to move a little bit and maybe the collar needs to flap more as well, but they're all the little details that I'll add later. Here's one of the Martian characters, one of the aliens, and I use this as my base to first create the walk cycle. And again, I'm trying to get that personality, you know, and I want the arms to swing a lot with this ray gun that they're carrying, and their head to bob a lot as well, and their hips to move. So this gives me a bit of a framework, taking that early wireframe animation and starting to flesh out the legs. This walk cycle is only 9 drawings, it's 9 frames. You can see down at the bottom there, but let's slow it down. Very simple, 9 drawings. More work to be done here. Obviously the whole face needs to be animated, it's very static right now. Check out the hipster variant, just added some accessories. This walk cycle is slightly different, and I want to do that more with other aliens. So when you see a group of aliens walking by in the background, it doesn't just look like a copy and paste of the one animation, that each alien has a personality, and you can kind of see that they're all kind of stepping differently and they're walking differently and they all have a different gait, and it's world building, right? It looks more realistic, it looks more believable when it doesn't look like it's copy paste, that they all look like they have their own thing going on. I need a Martian dude carrying a blowtorch because I definitely want to animate things being set on fire. His face hasn't been animated yet, but we're all about the walk cycles with these tests. This is me testing out how I want to blow up the head. When our Elvis hero uses the shotgun, we want to blow up those alien heads, and we're going to get lots of goo and lots of everything go everywhere. So this is my first kind of test to see what the head will look like exploding. This is the very generic head explosion. I need to create more head explosions because I want them to all happen in a very unique way as well. So you want some to pop, some to just melt. You know, I think having an alien head just melt into the skull would be really cool as well. So all different ways that we can dispose of aliens. Here are some of the background buildings in various states of completion, but I don't like to just create backgrounds. I think backgrounds and environments are just as important. So I like to put as much effort and personality into the actual background and surrounding environments of the characters as well. And this is some of the buildings. If you ever watch classic Simpsons, every time it cuts to like an exterior shot, there's always a funny written text joke somewhere on the screen. Wherever they can fit a visual text joke in, they always slip one into the background. Obviously that's a huge influence on me. The Simpsons is a huge influence, and that idea of putting visual jokes into the background is something I really love. I created this diner, which is open 24 hours against better judgment. Hopeless and Sons pawn shop. Trade your dreams for beer money. Again, just very irreverent. Unemployment agency, soul crushing positions available. These buildings are a lot of fun to make because I'm just creating basic shapes, just stream of conscious, just trying to create a shop front facade. So I don't know what this is going to be yet. This pizza store is one of my favorites. It's actually based on a place in my neighborhood from when I lived in Berlin, run by a bunch of Italian crust punks. So that was my shout out to those guys. All the individual animations, they're all created frame by frame in the regular Procreate Animation Assist, and I do everything in there, and then I bring it all over into Procreate Dreams, and I'll populate the environment, and then I'll get an idea of what is working and what isn't, and I create a basic animatic. Now we're starting to see what characters look like inside the environment. Here's the alien walk cycle. We're starting to get an idea of what all of these pieces will look like when I put it all together. See if all these places work next to each other. Obviously I'm going to break them up and have side streets and all that good stuff, but we're starting to get an idea. So there we are. There is some of the different pieces all put together. A little bit of a snapshot of all that I'm working on for this animation. There's a lot that goes into it. I've been working on this since last October. So that gives you an idea of the process. Frame by frame animation, it's very laborious. It takes a long time to do. Everything that I do is all hand drawn. Every single frame is individually drawn and animated. So it does take a while. I'm not using programs or software. Personally, I feel that my style is best complemented with this more hands-on style of animating, and I think it suits my work much better, and it also suits me. I prefer to animate this way. I always say that the finished product is for the viewer, the collector, or the appreciator, but the actual process of creating the work is for the artists themselves. I don't enjoy the finished product. I always see the mistakes. I always see everything I could do better. But the actual process of creating it is where I'm really at home, and that's where I am the most comfortable, and that's what I enjoy doing. Hand animating frame by frame is like meditation for me, and it brings me a lot of clarity, and it's my happy place. So I like to just dive in and do it this way. I know it's not the most robust or the most time effective way to animate. I do think it's important to have one eye on the future, and I do plan to grow this collection, and I do plan to really expand the scope of the animations, and simply doing all of that by frame is not economical, and I will need to adjust the process in the future, especially when I bring on assistants to help me to animate these pieces. So I have been looking at other software, and I did do my very first animation in Blender. Let me show you what I did. First ever animation in Blender. I took a random image, one of my Atomic Trash stickers, and my first attempt at animating was to just get it to rotate side to side, and look at that. Look at that. That is my first attempt at animating in Blender. Hope you're impressed. That took about 2.5 hours to do. A little bit of a random update into some of the work in progresses I have going at the moment. Really eager to get Atomic Trash up and running and out into the world, and I'm eager to also start releasing more collectibles on Drip and not just be giving you these videos every week, even though I know you love them. I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into the animation that's happening behind the scenes as well, and I'm slowly working on everything, but when Atomic Trash drops, it's gonna be feckin' cool. I can't wait to show you all the stuff, the physicals, the merch, everything. But until then, appreciate you checking out these videos and keeping my drip alive, and, you know, pet more dogs. Go on.